Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Rats Get Fat podcast. I am your host, Zuzz.
And I am your co-host, Jake Straat. Zuzz, what the hell, man? Where are we?
We're in the City of Angels, man.
The City of Angels.
City of Angles.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy out here, eh?
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
It's quite hot. It
is
hotter than I
hot.
expected it to be.
Yeah. I mean, looking for celebrities.
Yeah. We've been on the lookout.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any.
The only celebrity I've found so far is Zuzz.
That's nice.
No. We've been walking the streets, having heaps of fun here. We're only here for 2 days, but we thought we'd stop into one of a staple traditional tattoo shops of Los Angeles, which is the Holy Union Tattoo, owned by an incredible human. I'm sure you already know her, our friend Heather Bailey.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Heather.
Hello.
How you going, dude?
I'm good. I also have to mention, co-owned also by one Frankie at Death Cloak on Instagram.
Okay.
Yep. Follow Frankie at
Yeah.
Death Cloak
Yes.
on Instagram.
That's my partner. Got to give it up.
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
This shop is incredible. You were saying before, you guys are like you're not religious whatsoever, but you love the aesthetic of religion and of like the old time sort of churchy kind of vibe.
Yeah.
The iconography.
Catholic specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick. So, for the video at home, everyone watching, hello. We'll include a walkthrough of the shop, and even the swinging doors are like very.
They got like little steeples on either
Yeah,
side,
thank
and
you.
like all the red like curtains, and it's so cool. Like the aesthetic is like on point.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
So nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you ever get like any like religious people coming to get tattooed here?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've had, since we have an altar with the candles, in the Catholic religion, you light a candle, you say a prayer, and then you give like a couple dollars as an offering
Yeah.
for the prayer. We've had someone come in and want to light a candle and do a prayer, and I'm like, well, this isn't a real church. I mean, cool, have at it. And they're like, where do I leave the money? And I said, it's on me. I don't know if your prayer is going to get answered because you didn't leave the money, but hey,
Yeah.
Damn.
what else?
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
So,
It's so interesting you have to leave the money.
I mean, well, how's the church going to
Yeah.
make all the money and,
yeah.
Keep churching.
yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I thought you were going to say you're like, oh, you just pop it here in my front pocket.
Yeah.
You just like lean forward and like unzip your
gotcha.
pocket.
I mean, that's what the church does. So,
Yeah.
Of
you
course.
know.
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah, tax free as well.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love I think there's like a George Carlin bit they used to do. It's like
a genius
God,
man.
Yeah, God all powerful, just can't handle money.
Just can't do
He
it.
needs money.
Such a good bit.
I love that dude.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yes, definitely.
He loves you and he needs money. He always needs money. He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow, just can't handle money. Religion takes in billions of dollars. They pay no taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we've spoken, not really on this podcast so much, but like just general shop banter. We've spoken about like how it would be cool to like, I'm not a religious man myself. Zuzz isn't a religious man himself. A lot of tattooers aren't sort of delved into religion, but we feel like tattooing is our religion. So I thought, this would be the ultimate shop to be, you know what I mean? Like to start the religion of tattoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, yeah, tax free. You know what I mean? Like, and we all, we all abide by the tat gods.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like this is it though. But you've done it. You've pulled out
You
all
could your own
stops. You've genuinely got a church here in LA that you can come and visit on Sunset Boulevard and like light a candle and put money in Heather's pocket.
Yeah, you just got to give all the little Jesus' little like tribal sleeves or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It'd be sick. Give him a little tack at. But yeah, oh, it's so cool. It's rad being in here, seeing all the originals on the walls.
Yeah.
You've got like such a cool collection.
Thank
We've been
you.
nerding out.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Ed Hardy behind us for everyone
We've
watching.
we've got
the
a couple
hell?
at Hardy's, but yeah, that one's really special.
And that was, you were saying it was Dan Higgs's back piece?
Yeah, it's the color study for Dan Higgs's back piece that Ed Hardy did on him.
So insane.
For the video at home, I will show a video or a photo of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's unreal coming out to the United States and seeing all this like original art that, you know, like we've only ever seen in books or magazines and
Right,
stuff
yeah.
down in Australia.
Yeah, we only get, a real like, I don't know, it's like we're looking at it through a fucking telescope.
Oh, I could,
On the
yeah, I
other side of the
understand.
world.
Yeah, uh-huh.
We're like, oh, it looks kind of cool over there. I wonder what's happening. So it's kind of, it's cool to like make our way over here and see it in the flash,
Yeah.
you know?
Because you were just telling us as well before, like you were in Salem, Massachusetts, and you and a friend were walking past a tattoo shop and you peered in and there was your tattoo flash hanging up in the shop.
Yeah, I mean, it was the entire Spider Murphy's flash book, but mine was in the front, obviously, because it fits with the witch, Witch City
Yeah.
Okay.
is what they call Salem. So that was, quite unexpected.
That's incredible, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It would be such a weird and like, I don't know, cool feeling at the same time. Like just walking past a tattoo shop and seeing your own arm, you're like, what the
Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, because your art style is like, or it used to be anyway, with like in those Spider Murphy days,
Yeah.
you know, these original concepts that were like very, you know, they were dark images. And no one else, I've never seen anyone else portray those images like it. So like a place like Salem would fucking totally, you know, take that and run with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because it's like Halloween every day, right? Out there,
yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Oh,
know.
it's the
It
city
is.
of Halloween.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to make my way out there. I reckon
Oh,
it'd
you
be
should.
cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, it's like the original place where everything started in America as far as, you know,
yeah.
the colonies and everything. So,
Yeah, it all started on like the eastern side, and then they made their way over.
yeah.
It's crazy.
So a lot of history there. I mean, it's definitely not as old as obviously Europe, but you know, when the first time I went to the East Coast, I could not believe I was seeing these things from like, you know, the
Yeah.
colonial days. I'm like, what? This is so old. Because, you know, the West Coast is fairly new
Yeah.
in regards to the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I had never seen a cemetery that looked like that. That was like from the 1600s. All we have is like 1800s. So
Yeah.
it's like obviously nothing to scoff at, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it was mind blowing to see the history there. And, you know, I also like take a lot of that history and put it into my art too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that would be incredibly inspiring, I could imagine, for what you do to like, embed yourself in that.
yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
I've had tattooers actually ask me if I'm from New England.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, no, I'm so Californian. And they're like, well, no, your art is very like steeped in like New England, like the essence of it. And like you understand it. And even though you're not from there, I'm like, yeah, I guess I never thought of it until someone had mentioned that. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is. Like
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. Like, I don't know how I did that,
Yeah.
but I did. It's cool. It's awesome.
Because what did you find like your inspiration was to like head down that avenue?
I just love history. I'm like constantly like to read and learn, and I'm just obsessed with specific time periods, and I just paint that, tattoo that, you know?
Sick.
That's all it is. It's just like my interest in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been over to Europe?
I have. Well, I've been to England, which is like blows my mind. It's like my
Yeah.
favorite place on earth.
Yeah, I haven't been over there, but I'm definitely keen to check it out.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so old. I've also been to Egypt, which is even older.
Yeah, it's like cradle
Ancient.
of civilization.
How was
Yeah.
that? How was
Oh, it
Egypt?
was very cool. It was when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
but it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to see the pyramids, like I couldn't even fathom, and then they're right there, and I'm like, I still couldn't understand what I was looking at.
That's bananas, eh?
Yeah,
Holy.
It is bananas.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bloody, I don't know. Yeah. It'd be crazy to like go over there and see how old it is. Cause like, I don't know, you can go into like the Tower of London, which is
Totally.
like, so old. And then there's like, I feel like it'd be super jarring because there's like a bloody Tesco's right around the corner.
Exactly. Yeah.
well,
Oh, yeah.
It's like right in the middle of the fucking
Yeah, the Tower
city.
of London's like right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really
And
funny.
yeah, it was like, I think, wasn't it originally built like, I think maybe by the Romans?
Yeah,
or
there's
something?
the ruins of like Roman walls
Yeah.
around too. So it's like, wait, so that's even older.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, wait, huh?
And then they built on top of it,
Yeah.
and on top of it. Like
Yeah.
there's like, yeah, so much
It's
history
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
And then there's a Tesco's.
Yep.
It's
There's
like-
there's a KFC and
Yeah, yeah.
what do you call it? McDonald's?
oh
a
yeah,
Macca's.
the
A
Macca's?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so good.
We went and had Macca's this morning, and
Yeah,
just to like for the sheer fact of like seeing what it was about out
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
like seeing the differences, and there was like it was crazy. What was that thing
It
called?
was like a McGriddle or something. We don't have that back home in Australia.
Okay.
yeah, we ordered the McGriddle, and it's like it's like fucking like
Pancakes.
as like the
buns.
the buns, like maple pancakes.
That is
kind of
so American.
thing. Yeah,
Just excessive, outrageous food.
Oh yeah.
it was outrageous.
Yeah.
But
It's
we-
crazy.
Well, we thought we were like, we weren't really interested in eating at Macca's, but we were like, we better go just
You
to see
gotta
the
try
difference.
it. Yeah,
Fuck
of
it.
course.
We
Yeah.
gotta.
Of course.
But yeah, we've been around. We've been eating loads of like fast food. And
Yeah.
We've been feeling it in our
I'm
in
sure.
our bellies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a bit sick from it all, eh?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I've been having a drink heaps of like those like little like actual like bright green
Oh,
juices.
yeah.
Fruit
Like to
drinks
try and
shit.
like counterbalance all the bad.
Yes.
Yeah, get a bit of health in there.
Good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun though.
Good.
It's
good.
fun. It's kind of like what we expected. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, of course.
Except the portion sizes aren't as ridiculously big as I thought they'd be.
Well, you need to go to the Cheesecake Factory. That's where you're really going to experience
Okay.
American excess
Okay.
with the food.
Interesting.
The
All right.
portions are so giant.
Yeah, what the hell? You
And
can
you
feed a family of
you
5.
could get anything. The menu is like a little miniature like book, like novel.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going, and then there's like any type of cuisine is served there.
That's crazy to me. Like, it makes you wonder, like, you can't have all of that be fresh and, like,
No.
have that much variety.
It's a wild place.
Yeah.
It's very American. I suggest you go just to experience
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
Sure.
Heather, thanks for the tip. That's sick.
Thank you. How's the cheesecake? Is it actually good?
It is good.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I haven't been there in a while. But I remember the cheesecake. I mean, also every flavor that you would ever want of any cheesecake is available to you. And the slices are large.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
This season of Rats Get Fat is proudly sponsored by Good Guy Supply. Hailing from Canada, their team of seasoned tattoo professionals has been dedicated to crafting premium tattoo supplies since 2006. Obsession with one's craft is a hallmark of every great tattoo artist. The team at Good Guy Supply shares this passion, obsessing over every detail, the tools, the artistry, and the exceptional service they provide. Driven by an unwavering commitment to deliver premium supplies at an affordable price, Good Guy Supply's products are designed to meet the highest standards of performance. Whether you're tattooing in the Northern Hemisphere or beyond, you should definitely check them out. You won't be disappointed. A massive thank you to Good Guy Supply for supporting our show. Now back to the episode.
How long have you been tattooing for now, Heather?
20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good amount of time.
Whereabouts did you start?
San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Because Salem started in San Diego as well, I think.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
yes.
he got his start out in San Diego, and it seems like a budding place for people to have gotten into tattooing from like our understanding of San Diego. Like, what was your introduction into getting like? were you getting tattooed first as a collector and then you kind of like made your way into the industry from there, or?
No, in high school, I guess, yeah, that would be like the first, trying to think here. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in like a beach town. So all the surfers and like beach people would have like tattoos. And there was a part of San Diego called Pacific Beach that was like really like funky and eclectic. And just like, the 90s were like a fun time for like custom tattooing in San Diego. Like Avalon Tattoo was the first custom tattoo shop in San Diego, and I think it started in '89.
Okay.
So Avalon was really like the first of its kind, really like important in tattooing, and everyone talked about that shop in San Diego. That was the place. If you're gonna get your first tattoo, you got to go to Avalon. So I started seeing these people like in high school, like kind of rockabilly, surf, like all of that, and was really intrigued by the tattooing and like the tattoos. And I'm like, I can't wait to get tattooed. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. Thank God I can't get tattooed until I was 18 because I would have all kinds of crazy things.
Hell yeah.
But it was really that like, culture that made me aware of tattooing. And I went to art school just for graphic design in San Diego. And I just realized that everything I was learning was on computers. And I was like, this is not what I want. I want to be able to work with my hands, like tangibly feel the paper and use the pencil. And so I got my first tattoo. I think I was 19. I just went into this random shop and...
Did you go to Avalon?
Well, so... Great question. I did go to Avalon. I was told to get tattooed by a specific person. I scheduled an appointment. He wasn't very nice.
Oh.
No way.
He will remain nameless.
Sure.
I didn't feel right about it. I was like, I don't know. This just feels off.
Yeah.
So I was like, keep the deposit. I think the deposit was $20.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
It's like, fine, keep the deposit. I gave him like a reference book, and I was like, can I get my book back? He's like, sure, yeah. It was totally fine. But then, I ended up getting it from this random shop that I eventually apprenticed at.
Oh, wild.
So it just kind of, I don't know, it just happened like that. And
if you had been looked after by this tattooer at Avalon, it might have been a completely different scenario in your world.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never really thought of that, but you're right. Yeah.
So it's such a blessing that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also a lesson to like not be an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get it. Like, it was also like a heavily walk-in shop. And I'm sure, he had been tattooing a long time and he was kind of the guy that everyone went to. But I don't know. He didn't really like treat me like, he just kind of brushed me off.
Yeah.
Like, my tattoo like wasn't important, which I get it. I'm a tattooer. I understand some are more important than others, but like, it's important to the client.
Oh yeah.
Like it was my first tattoo. Like that's a crazy thing.
It's like the most important tattoo.
The most, you're just starting your journey, or maybe you're not, like maybe you get tattooed by a person and you get that first one and it turns you off forever. You know what I mean? Like it could go many different directions.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right.
What did you get tattooed when you so you went and found this other shop that you eventually apprenticed at? What did you want to get tattooed?
It was a snowflake.
Okay.
Because I was obsessed with snowboarding at the time.
Rad.
So I got the snowflake. It's now covered up.
You got rid of it.
So sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's
We grow up and I think we look back on our past tattoos, especially younger tattoos.
yes.
And I've got my first one covered up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's interesting though. So like what happened from getting your first tattoo to then being able to apprentice at that studio?
well, like I said, I was going to art school, and I wasn't very happy. I was just kind of doing it to appease my parents because they're very conservative, and I pretty much apprenticed in private.
Oh, really?
They
You didn't tell them?
They didn't know.
Yeah.
So I was going to art school. I had a job, and I was apprenticing at the same time. So it was
It's a lot.
It was a lot, and the hours were really long at the shop. It was like a 11 a.m. to 11 or midnight closed shop, so it was long days. So yeah, I was doing that, and I mean, it was a wild time. This was like 2002.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we had all the Marines come in, and it was just a crazy time.
Yeah,
tattooing.
holy.
It's
Yeah.
interesting, all the Marines coming in, they would have given you a proper start. You would have learned how to tattoo
Yeah.
from just one after the other, one after the
Yeah.
other. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck that one up. That's cool. On to the next.
Yeah,
You know what I
definitely.
mean?
I definitely fucked up a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
In my
It's the way.
my early days, it's just what happens.
I mean, not anymore. These young kids are so good now. I'm like, what is happening? How?
Oh, it's only what they're posting though, right?
I mean, that's true. That is true.
where they kind of we've spoken about it lots about the manicured Instagram pages and whatnot.
Sure.
And a lot of the older tattooers are still posting every single tattoo that they ever have done, But
Yeah.
a lot of us aren't doing that anymore,
Mm-hmm.
because we kind of want to go in a certain direction or whichever way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very filtered and
it
manicured.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 2002, and you were you cut your teeth on learning how to tattoo all these military guys.
Well, I wasn't allowed to tattoo.
Oh, okay.
So I was there a year, and I didn't touch a tattoo machine unless it was to break it down.
Yeah.
Break the stations down, set the stations up, scrub tubes, made needles, all those things. And then from there, I went to work at another shop in San Diego. It was owned by Milford Barnes, who was, I think he learned under Dave Gibson.
Okay.
Great tattooer. He was going up to San Francisco a lot and working with Grimy at AWR.
Okay.
So we would go up to San Francisco, and it was such a fun time then. And I realized that is the tattoo Mecca. This was, 2003. And I was like, I have to move here. This is where tattooing is.
Yeah.
This is, if I want to be serious, I have to be here. And so I started tattooing at Milford's spot, just friends, I could, hey, I'll give you a free one. Hey. And then I think it was 2004, I moved to San Francisco, and I could not find a place to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. So then I heard Goldfield's tattoo. It is now since closed. Very, very sad. I think it opened in 1977. I heard that Henry Goldfield would give me a chance.
Yeah.
I went there, had to apprentice again. So I did 3 apprenticeships.
Wow.
I had already been tattooing, but I was like, well, this is what I got to do. So I'll apprentice again. So I really made, all the needles for everyone that worked there. I scrubbed everyone's tubes. I cleaned, and I was working 3 other jobs at the same time. This was a tough time. Moved to a new city, on my own for real. And Henry fired me.
No way.
That's what he's famous for. In San Francisco, there's a saying, you're not a real tattooer unless you've been fired by Henry Goldfield.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
heard that.
Salem told us that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got fired from him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's incredible.
I got fired for, I didn't read a book that he told me to read called How to Sell Anything to Anyone. Yes. Yeah.
Have you read the book since?
I haven't. Sticking it. No.
Yeah.
Need it.
No,
Nah, fuck that book.
So he was like, there's going to be a test on the book. You got to read the book. And I'm like, okay, there's a test. So I'm like, okay. So I just kind of like skimmed it, I'm like, I got the gist of it. So then he's like, did you read the book? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, asking me questions. And I'm like, well, and he's like, you didn't read the book. And I'm like, I skimmed it. And he's like, God damn it. It was a test. And I'm like, I got most of what you were saying. He's like, no, you didn't. The test was to read the book and you didn't read the book. So therefore you failed. Get the fuck out of my shop.
No way. That's crazy.
That's heavy, eh?
Yeah. So I got out of his shop. I thought I was over. I was like, I'm never going to make it. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I'm going to have to move back to San Diego. Like, it was horrible.
Yeah.
So do you guys know Khalil Rinty?
No.
He used to work at Tattoo City.
Okay.
Incredible tattooer, incredible man. He also is from San Diego, worked at Ace Tattoo. I hit him up and I told him, because I had started my back from Khalil. And I went over to his house and we had a talk and I told him everything. And he said, look, Heather, you can't give up. I know you want to, but you can't give up. So I'm gonna say this. If you keep going and in your pursuit of tattooing, I will finish your back and I'll do it for free. But if you give up, you have to finish it. But I'm going to charge you full price. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I will help you too. And he actually introduced me to this guy who owned a shop in the deep East Bay that was really busy, lots and lots of walk-ins, and I could just tattoo like crazy and just get better and better and better. And I worked there for 3 years.
Wow.
And I did,
Yeah.
What was the shop called?
It was called Final Sin.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of like Bay Area tattooers know it because the owner's infamous piercer turned tattooer.
No way.
Incredible.
This season of Rats Get Fat is proudly sponsored by our friends at Industry Tattoo Supply. They're an Australian family-owned business who put artists first. Very much like us, they're very heavily invested in cultivating tattoo history. If you're interested, you should definitely check out their YouTube channel and blogs on their website. You'll find info on laws and regulations coming into effect, coil maintenance, advice from artists, and loads of other good stuff. They also believe in innovation, committing a minimum of $30,000 annually towards artist-owned new product developments. So if you've got good ideas on a new product, they can actually help bring those ideas to fruition. If you're interested, you should definitely check out their Artist Amplifier. Links to everything can be found in the description. A massive thanks to Adam and the folks at Industry Tattoo Supply for supporting the show. Now back to the episode.
So yeah, I worked there for a while and then I got the call back to San Diego to work at Avalon 2. So
No
then
way.
I went back and I was like, oh my God, I'm working at Avalon. This is crazy.
You've made it.
I made it.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't even there for a year. It was 11 months. And then Paul Dobelman, we were friends, and he came down and did a guest spot at Avalon because Paul actually learned to tattoo in San Diego as well.
Did he?
He did.
Okay.
Yep. And he was working at Spider Murphy's at the time, and he's like, I'm going to come do a guest spot with you. You come and do a guest spot with me. And I was like, wait, excuse me? At Spider Murphy's? You're out of your mind. And he's like, no, come on. Little did I know that Theo was wanting to hire me and Brian. So me and Brian pretty much did like the first guest spots, like Theo was very secretive of like, not secretive, but like, you know, he cares about Spider Murphys a lot, and he only wanted, he didn't really do a lot of guest spots, is what I'm saying. Like he didn't let a lot of people in, but he let us do guest spots, and it was the most stressful thing ever. I'm like, don't look at my tattoos. Don't look at what I'm doing, please. God, no.
It is stressful.
Yeah. So, you know, it was a lot of Paul. I think I don't really know. I never really talked to him about it per se, but like Paul really was the one who invited me to work there, and eventually I got offered the job.
That's crazy.
What a guy.
What a guy. We love Paul.
We love Paul.
We love Paul.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Paul.
Yeah. Nice one, Paul.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's incredible. So you were down in San Diego. Paul Doberman invited you up for a guest spot at Spider Murphy's. You thought, fuck it, let's go.
Let's do it.
You were a really young tattooer, you know? And
Yeah, this was 2009.
okay.
I've been tattooing since 2004.
Yes.
So yeah,
Wow, that's like, yeah, that's the pressure's on, hey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, you were invited to stay full time, or did you like what happened from there? You did this guest spot there?
Yes, and Theo offered me the job. I can't remember if it was. I think it was after the guest spot. He sat me down and we had like a conversation at the shop, and he was like, "I want to offer you a job here," and I was like, "Yes." Yes, immediate.
That's incredible. Because were your family and friends and everything all down in San Diego?
A lot, yeah. I mean, my family is there. But, you know, I had been in the Bay, so I built a good client base there, and also have lots of friendship, you know, lots of friends there. So it's just kind of like moving back to a place I already like existed in. So it wasn't like that crazy.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it was a different area. Like I moved to San Rafael.
Okay.
I was in San Francisco and like the deep East Bay for most of my tenure in San Francisco. So it was a different part of the Bay Area.
It is, hey.
Yeah.
It's a bit quieter.
It's totally polarizing from San Francisco to the little sleepy San Rafael.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. It's got like one of the world's best tattoo shops, you know?
Yeah, it's so funny because it's just like, wait, that's there?
Yeah.
And like people travel from all over to get tattooed, and you know, it's not easy. They fly into San Francisco and then they have to like either take a bus or like an Uber, or I mean, I don't even think Uber existed then, but
Oh yeah.
you know, like a taxi or something, and it's, you know, it's a good 30 minutes outside of San Francisco.
Yeah. It'd be a bit of a trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unreal.
I mean, I got tattooed by Theo at the original location, the really small. I don't know if you guys saw or went by the original location.
no,
It's
we
just
didn't.
down the street from
okay.
from where the location is now. But it was like a 2-person
Oh really?
little. It was so tiny and just like adorable.
Ah.
But yeah, I got tattooed by him in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this before it was definitely before you'd come and done a guest spot and stuff. So you'd
Yes.
been like tattooing out in San Francisco and
Yeah.
right. And then
2 years.
Okay. Right. And you'd gone and
2006,
gotten
yeah.
tattooed by Theo. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I started getting tattooed. I was like, I need to get tattooed by everyone I possibly can in San Francisco because everyone was there at that time.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when I said tattoo Mecca, it truly was like the best tattooers in the world were in San Francisco in the early 2000s.
Well, even from like the Australian perspective, like our perspective, like we only see stuff online. Yeah, like the Bay Area. If it wasn't for the Bay Area tattooing and tattooers, like the world of tattooing wouldn't be what it is today. You know, people like Ed Hardy,
Yeah.
you know, totally changed tattooing for the for the better, I feel, to the fact that, you know, people like me could get into it, or like people like all of us could get into it, you know, and it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. It's a mecca, and it's still a really special place today.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
It
There's
is.
so much history there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people that were tattooing out there, you know, have moved around, but it's cool. Like it's still like there's fresh people now in San Francisco that are like following in the path of people that have done it before them, and
Yeah.
you know, they're making their own like name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's always important to keep one eye on the past and one on the future. So it's really, really amazing for us to go out there and see it and come out here. And,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cool.
Really, really cool.
So you worked at Spider Murphy's for a little bit. You know, dream job, really. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, incredible.
I mean, it really shaped who I, you know, became as a tattooer. Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, working around those guys and with the crew that was there at that time, like, yeah, it's super inspirational. You know, like I
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine. You know, it's incredible. Anyway.
Yeah. I feel like you're always, like you are who you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with people who are like amazing artists and stuff, you're just going to inevitably become better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would hope.
Yeah. You'd want to. I don't
Yeah.
know. It would be really, really cool as an up and coming artist to spend your time there and really cut your teeth there.
Yeah.
I don't know. So insane.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And now you're down in LA.
Well, and then I went to Blackheart.
Oh yeah.
I
You went-
can't.
Yeah, can we get into that? Can
Yeah,
we
you
not,
went to
we're
Blackheart.
not going to skip ahead.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah. We're not going to go to the back page of the book just yet.
That's right.
Yeah, we can't have a sneaky peek. That's cheating. You can't skim through.
Yeah. Spider Murphy's was like 4.5 years, I think I was there. And then Blackheart was 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, Scott, Sylvia, Tim Lehigh, Jeff Rasher. I mean, working with them was insane.
Yeah.
Like the talent that all three of them like have like on their own, like, and then together. I mean, just a wealth of knowledge,
Yeah.
like just at your fingertips.
Yeah.
It's like that tattoo shop is like it's like a bubbling cauldron of like creativity
Yeah.
and talent.
Yeah.
It's fucking insanity.
What
Yeah.
a heavy hitting shop, eh?
We were in there last week, and yeah, hanging out with all the guys. We went out partying with all the guys, and we ended up in the shop like after it was closed, and we were all hanging out and stuff. And yeah, it's incredible.
That's cool.
And I don't know, even just to sit in that studio and like absorb a little bit of the magic and look at some of the art, like some of the art in there is just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it is.
Have they always been in the same location? Or they
Blackheart. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay,
It
cool.
started, but it was just the four. So it was Tim, Jeff, Scott, and Jeff Whitehead. Yeah, they opened in 2004, and I met Tim Lehigh and started getting tattooed by him then, and built like a rapport, and then got tattooed by Jeff Rasher and Scott, Sylvia, and you know, I was just getting tattooed as much as I possibly could because it's like taking advantage of what you have.
Yeah.
You're there.
You got to.
You got to.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously like asking questions, but like not being like overly like, oh yeah, I'm a tattooer. Like, no, just like being respectful of the space. You know, obviously wanting to learn, but like don't want to step on anyone's toes. Want to really be respectful. And so
Yeah.
that's what I would do. Just get tattooed as often as I could by all these people.
For sure.
It's definitely a good way to learn as well.
Oh
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
tattooed.
Getting tattooed from people.
Yeah.
Like I think, yeah, I don't know. You know, it's incredible to go and like get a tattoo from someone you really look up to. And yeah, eyeball their setup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Look at their
And-
vaults
Yeah, like
or whatever.
see what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's always like those little like learning to tattoo, and even like beyond there, like it's not a steady increment. It's always like kind of
Yeah.
bubbles and
Yeah,
jumps.
yeah.
There's like plateaus, and you like learn a new thing. I find like yeah, looking back on it, like you get a tattoo from someone, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And you like go back home, your next tattoo, you're kind of like implementing that and trying that out. I feel like, yeah, it's super important to go around and get
it's
tattooed.
super important.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has, you know, a different way of doing things, and they've been, you know, taught different, or everyone has their own story of how they got into it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
It truly is. We all do the same thing, but like we all do it so different. You know?
100%.
I also think that people don't tattoo the same. Everyone tattoos differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone tattoo the same.
Yeah.
It's out of control.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that we're like part of this thing that's like everyone learns how to do it differently because, you know, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. Tattooing
Yeah.
spins me out every day.
It does. Yeah.
It's like magic.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's literally my favorite thing. Like, you know, like obviously I love my husband, but like it's been with me before I was with him. Like it's like my true love, you know? Like
100%.
it's been with me through good times, bad times, through many different, you know, romantic partners, like times in my life. Like it's been the constant. It's been the thing that like keeps me together, keeps me grounded. Like,
Yeah. It's important.
yeah.
There's nothing more important than that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's something that we can really rely on and like lean on.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's-
not
it-
just a job.
No,
No.
It's a life. It's so
It's
cool.
lifestyle.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle.
it's cool. It's cool. It's like it's I don't know. It takes us wherever we want to go. Like say for example, now you've never been to Australia. We were talking a little bit earlier before.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier before, like, you know, if you ever came out to Australia, like, you know, you could just make $1 million tats and make $1 million and have 1 million good fucking times. You know what I mean? Like,
Aw.
it could take you there.
Yeah.
Like, not another job. Like, you know, if you're a plumber or an electrician or whatever, like, you know, it's not so like personal. Like, you know, like if you were a plumber or an electrician and you were like, hi, I'm a plumber from the US. I'll
Right.
be like, well, I'll just get my normal plumber. Like, it's not that special that like you're from the US, but it's like tattooing. It's so like personal. The fact that like you do what you do, you do what you do, I do what I do. And it's all so different and we do different things and the experiences are different that it's so personal that people will seek you out and say, wow, Heather's coming to Australia. I've got to get tattooed by her. You know what I mean? Like it's
Exactly.
nothing else like it in the world.
Yeah, you don't visit your mate's house and see his toilet. It's like, oh, did Jeff Wades do that toilet? Man,
Yeah.
you could take a big shit in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's a completely different thing. you know?
Yeah.
It's a whole art form that's so personalized.
Yeah.
It is personalized.
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
I count myself very fortunate the fact that we're like able to come out here and like meet all these incredible tattooers and
Yeah.
people that we really look up to and are able to hear their story.
Yeah, all you need is your know-how and your fucking hands
Yeah.
and you're set, you know?
Yeah.
And a fucking tattoo machine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe a needle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
some
maybe.
pigment. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I've met some of like my best friends through tattooing, like some like people I probably would have never met in my life. Like build these like connections with people and you know, obviously there's another side to where I have falling outs with people and stuff and it's unfortunate, but you know, it's a close knit, even though there's so many of us, it's very like close knit and
Yeah, we were talking about it before. It's like quite a small world, really, tattooing. And then you go even further than that. There's different genres and subgenres, like
right.
especially with Instagram and social media.
Especially now, yeah.
Yeah, more than ever. Like
Yeah.
it is quite a small world. Like you can meet, you know, tattooers on the other side of the globe who are friends of your friends and stuff, which is
Yeah.
what we've discovered over here.
Yeah.
It's super interesting how small of a community and world it really is. And it's super, super tight knit, and like there's so many lovely people in it and eccentric characters.
Yes.
Weirdos.
Every type of person is accounted for.
Yeah.
It kind of
There's some real weirdos.
it fits that archetype of like artists. They're just like their brains are wired differently to the rest of the world.
Yes.
We kind of look at things with a different kind of lens. And yeah, we come in all different shapes and sizes, and yeah, there's some wacky people. But
Truly.
yeah, I think it's lovely. I couldn't be happier like to be in this industry.
Yeah.
It's super, super
Same.
sick.
And it's pretty meaningful to be a part of this. And just like, I don't know, it's like, it's something way bigger than you, all of us. It's so much bigger than us, but we're just like a tiny cog in the machine of tattooing. But without us, you know, the world would look different.
Totally.
But with us, the world looks different. We're like making our own contribution to it, and like being able to give back to it and be a part of something fucking so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like doing a tat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you pretty much, you did 4.5 years at Spider Murphy's. You went to Blackheart after that. You were probably like full of inspiration and like aspiration from working around all these absolute lords of the tattoo world. What happened then? You're working at Blackheart for how long?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that point, I'd been in the Bay Area for 13 years, like collectively. So I was just ready to come back to Southern California. You know, I didn't want to move back to San Diego because it's just a little too slow paced for me at this point in my life. I love to visit, but I wanted to give Los Angeles a chance because obviously I've been here a bunch, and I just really fell in love with it. It's a crazy place. I love it so much.
It is a crazy place out here.
People don't like it. A lot of people don't like it, and I totally get it. Like, absolutely 100% understand why. But for me, it fits my lifestyle and what I want, and I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else.
Okay.
It makes sense. It makes sense you're here. And
Yeah.
It makes sense that you're out here, you know, sort of having this shop, and I don't know. It's a wild thing, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's weird to think about, the fact that drawing pictures on paper and then in skin can, like, I don't know, take you anywhere, really.
Yeah, right.
It's such a strange concept. I think about it all the time. Whenever I'm tattooing or even drawing up for anything, it's just like, so stupid. I'm doing the same shit I was doing in kindergarten.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I used to draw.
Yeah.
You draw on your friends and stuff in kindergarten with, like, you know, texters or crayons or whatever they may be. And we're doing the same shit. It's just a little bit more refined
It
in
is.
some ways.
Yeah, in some ways.
Yeah, but it's way cooler too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't a very cool kid when I was doing
It
that
was
shit.
like, kids suck.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
We've like got it down to a fine art. We're doing this cool.
Yeah, it's so weird,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting being out in Los Angeles on like such an important street of Los Angeles as well. Like, what made you guys decide to sort of open up on Sunset?
Honestly, it just happened. We had a what do they call them? Real estate like agent guy, not real estate agent, but I don't know the proper term, but
Yeah.
he found us a bunch of different commercial locations and realtor.
Yeah, yes.
That's the word.
That's the word.
We had a realtor, and he showed us this spot. He's like, it's small, but it's on Sunset, and I was like, ooh, on Sunset.
Damn.
Fancy.
That's the dream.
That's the American dream.
Yeah, Sunset Boulevard. Come on.
Yeah.
So it worked out. Here we are.
It's a great part. It's like it's not so deep in like the heavy shit.
Yeah, it's not on. It was not a Sunset in Hollywood.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Do you ever have like heaps of crazies walking in or anything? Like
Few and far between. It happens, but it's not, like I said, we're not in the heart of Hollywood where that's more prevalent.
Yeah.
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 It's
No,
crazy.
It's a great place for a tattoo shop, and it's a good size. It's the perfect size for a tattoo shop.
Oh,
really.
well, thank you.
Like sometimes if they're too big, like it can be overwhelming for like everyone involved,
Yeah.
artist, client.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want it too big. I don't know. You want something that's kind of like nice and you can actually have a conversation and
Totally.
have a bit of a community and like artists can be like yammering to each other over there.
I mean,
and-
it's when every table is out, it feels very tiny.
Oh, really? Yeah.
yeah, I bet. Yeah, holy. Yeah, it's kind of similar at our shop. We have them like ours is more of like narrow. It's a bit more of like a hallway, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we got these like little booths just
Yeah.
like along.
Yeah, it's sick though.
It's so much fun. Whenever we have like a guest artist and all three bays
Oh,
are
it's
buzzing
the
at once.
best. The guest artists bring such a
Yeah.
fun, like it's different.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So yeah, it's nice to have that kind of like micro community. Because how many people have you got working here?
It's just me and Frankie and then this other kid, Dylan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Three. Three's the
Three.
magic number.
And then we have like a extra for guests or,
Yeah. Yeah, three's like a really nice number of people.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a good dynamic.
Yeah, it is. People
Yeah.
can kind of bounce off one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone can make a decision, then the other person can say
Yeah.
no. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
then you got the third person to
Yeah,
be like,
yeah, to
I
decide.
think,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
decider.
Yep.
Yeah,
For sure.
3 people's a magic number.
Yeah, yeah. Personalities don't clash too much. You
Yeah.
know, people don't get in each other's way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I've worked in a lot of tattoo shops and I find that 3 people is like a really good amount of people for a tattoo shop. No one's treading on each other's toes. There's enough people to like everyone helps each other. Like there's not people hogging the work or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But you guys have had this studio for it's about to be 5 years, did you
5
say?
years, yeah. In January.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Did you ever like foresee yourself opening a studio? Like
No.
okay. Tell us about that.
Well, I don't know. I didn't want the responsibility. I don't have kids. I don't really like responsibility. I'm capable, more than capable of it, but I don't know. Just like didn't want it. But then I realized that I don't know. I didn't want to take a step down from working at like Spider Murphy's then Blackheart. It needed to either be a lateral move or a step above. And the only option for me moving to Los Angeles, because I wasn't content with really any of the shops here at the time, was to open my own spot.
Yeah.
I was like,
It makes sense. to
that's
realize.
a step above.
Yeah. It's
So
interesting.
so I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you found it?
I mean, I like it. It's like I said, the shop is manageable because it's, only 3 people and, it's quite small. But, we've had people work, personalities clash, people are sensitive, artists are sensitive people. It's not perfect all the time like any shop, but we make it work. Like I think it's great now. Like, me and Frankie really get along. He honestly was the person who approached me and was like, "Hey, I heard you want to open a shop." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" We were at Kings Avenue. We were both guesting at Kings Avenue. He used to work there. He worked there for 3 years. But he had since moved back to Southern California and he was working at Port City at the time in Costa Mesa. And he's just like, "Yeah, you want to partner?" And I was like, "Yeah,
That's huge.
sounds good, my man." And
Hell
so,
yeah.
we are a really, really good team. Like truly, like I can't imagine doing this with anyone else, honestly. Like he's so good at like his strengths and have my strengths and there's no like overlap. Like he's good with like, doing the accounting and like, doing all like the business end. Like
Sure.
we've got to file this paperwork or whatever. Like, and I'm more like, okay, like, backstock, handling like people time off, like,
Sure.
like we really balance each other out. And I think it works exceptionally well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
The yin and the yang.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
important.
We've got the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
haven't we?
We're opposites in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it works good.
It works.
Yeah.
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 Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
super important.
And it also helps that Frankie and I, we've been tattooing a similar amount of time. He's 21 years. And we have a very similar style. So we have a lot of clients. We share a lot of the same clients. Yeah, I just also like same kind of like upbringing of tattooing, you know?
Sure,
Like
of course.
it's same generation,
Yes.
you know? It's big, it's huge. That matters.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a younger tattooer working with us. He's been tattooing, I think, maybe like 5 years. So, you know, he's from a totally different generation of tattooing than me and Frankie. So he brings things to the table that we're like, oh, you're really good at like the internet. And we're just kind of like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different beast.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Isn't
So-
that interesting though? Because
Yeah.
from when you started tattooing 20 years ago to tattooing now, it's like you've had to take on this new
Yeah.
full-time role of internet person.
Yeah, I got Instagram when I worked at Spider Murphy's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2011.
Content creator.
It was crazy. Yeah, so now you have to do this. I already have a job. I already create content in the form of tattoos. So now you're saying I have to create content on top of the content I already create. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It is
Like-
exhausting.
You have to be an entertainer.
Yeah. Like,
like,
and now you have to have your face and things, and I do not like that.
Same.
I am not interested in that, but you gotta play the game.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
It's time to play the game. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I'm glad you and I both.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do have to play the game though.
Yeah,
when it comes
it's
to
time
the
to play the
internet.
game.
Yep.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting though? So you went from pretty much these early days of
Magazines.
yeah.
Okay.
Magazines.
It was magazines. Very few people, when I was apprenticing in like 2002, I think Grimy had a webpage or AWR, and Dave Fox had a webpage. And those were like the only two that I knew of.
yeah.
And it was crazy. I mean, to get supplies, I had to call and read out of the catalog for the shop. There was no ordering online.
No way.
There was, it was truly a different time.
Yeah.
No social media. I mean, MySpace hadn't existed yet.
Okay.
You know, like, yeah, it was just magazines. Really.
It's really interesting because it's like the polarization from like what it used to be to like what it is now, and the fact that we've all got to play this game, this like sick twisted game of entertainer, but also, you know, having to reply to people on time or whatever. Like if you don't reply within a certain amount of time, they send you question marks, or like it's a crazy
Yeah.
fucking thing.
It's
man.
too accessible.
It's overwhelmed. Yeah, it's in your pocket.
It's like people can access you that easily. I
yeah.
do not like that.
yeah.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it can be hard to like have specific boundaries? Do you have like a cutoff time where like, well, I reply to people at this time of day, you know, yeah, otherwise you got to wait until next time?
I mean, yeah, I have boundaries for sure.
good.
When it comes to work, yes. You can't DM me. If you DM me, like I will literally forget.
Yeah.
I will not, because Instagram isn't social. It's work.
Yeah, it's a tool.
job, and it's people that have it just for fun don't understand that it's just a tool for work. So I have to just be like, Yeah, you need to email me because I won't remember because this is not where I go to do my business. Like that's just to showcase like tattoos and things.
Okay.
And so I'll always redirect people. And so then email only. I never give my phone number out. Like you are not allowed to, unless you're my friend,
Yes.
you can have my phone number.
Yeah.
Or people, clients that have turned into friends, they have my phone number. Like, but I don't give it out. Like some tattooers here are just text me. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They can ring you late at night or something if you're
whenever.
out. Yeah.
Hey, my tat's doing something
Yeah.
fucking weird.
I mean, they literally can do that on your phone. Like on
Yeah, I
Instagram,
block
they
that
can
shit.
call you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I muted that stuff.
Yeah,
already.
so I try to set boundaries when it comes to that as far as Instagram. I mean, I have realized that I get more engagement when it's a personal post or it's a picture of me, which I don't like, but people like to see like who's behind the art. You know, people like that human, you know, connection of like seeing, like peeking behind the curtain.
Yeah,
like,
something they can identify with.
yeah, like, oh, this person is into this, or, you know, and they form opinions of you. Like I have people and they'll be like, oh, are you going to go see this band? Or I saw that you went and saw this band. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I don't think about like the things that I post and people like knowing where you are.
Yeah, I don't
if you
like
like
it.
tag like a location or something, it's like it's kind of wild to think about.
For sure.
But I mean,
Yeah, I miss the whole anonymity side
Yes.
of things,
yes.
I think. I kind of lean way more towards that. I very rarely post anything of myself and my personal life or anything like that. It's just, that's mine. So it's funny when like I first started tattooing, like I apprenticed under Jake and he found me through Instagram and he didn't know what I looked like or anything like that. He just saw my art on there. I could be some 8-foot smelly weirdo, you know.
And he was a 6-foot smelly weirdo.
Yeah, I'm only 6 foot tall.
But yeah, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And so I said, we were talking on Instagram quite a little bit.
Yeah.
And I loved his art. He's did
Oh,
some
cool.
incredible like art on paper, all just with pen and stuff. And I was like, I found like when I opened my studio, Heather, when I put out an advert for I needed another tattooer to handle all this work that I had.
Sure.
The only other people that were applying for the jobs were like, they were drunk, they were on drugs, they were between shops, they were fucking problematic. And I was like, you know what? I just don't want to bring that into my fucking place of business.
Of course.
Like I wanted to make a top tier tat shack. And I thought I wasn't really like, I didn't really want to apprentice anyone. I was like, I don't really, you know, I didn't want to add to the vast tattooers that are out there, but it was that or nothing else. So found this young man who did this incredible art and didn't know what he looked like. And so I said, hey mate, you know, do you want to come in for a job interview or whatever? And he came in and got a coffee.
Cool.
And turns out I'd like put heaps of tattoos on his brother. I knew his
Oh,
dad.
whoa.
Like I knew his family and stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, Kansas is a small place.
Yeah,
It's a real,
yeah.
Yeah, it
small
is.
town.
But yeah, I'm glad you weren't smelly or weird.
Yeah.
And 8 foot tall.
Yeah. I mean, that's Nick Colella, who owns Great Lakes Tattoo, the shop in Chicago that I go work at. Shout out, love them. He was like, I couldn't find a tattooer to work here. So I made one.
Yeah.
And he chose this girl, Danny, and he apprenticed her, and she's awesome. And she's just the coolest, and she's going to be great. And I mean, she's already tattooing, and
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
same thing. Like you can't find one, so you make one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, like the kind of dynamic from when, like, you mean, back when you started, you have to really, really try and you know, you went through like 3 apprenticeships, you said, you know,
Yeah.
you have to really seek it out and you have to work you have to work the pavement, man. To now where everything is done through the internet, through social media, through Instagram. It's like a fucking catalog, really.
Yeah, it is.
And you can search up. Back then, it was more hashtags, I guess. We don't really use
Oh,
those
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it was like Jake searched up hashtag Cairns artist, and like you get the flum through the fucking catalog of what you got at your fingertips, and then
I was looking at all the artists in their local area.
Yeah.
Like I'd never even set foot inside a tattoo shop.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew I
Which-
wanted it, though.
Which makes the perfect candidate for a fucking apprentice.
Yeah.
Because
it
you can
does.
mold them
Yes.
like a little ball of clay into like this weird man that tattoos. Not weird, but like, you know what I mean?
Definitely weird.
No, we're all weird
Yeah.
in a
Definitely
specific
weird.
way.
But it's like, you know, by you not stepping foot in a tattoo shop, you had no preconception about what a tattoo apprenticeship was or how a tattoo shop should be run, which means I can say like, hey man, this is what I believe morally and professionally tattooing, and then I can instill that in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you're a great tattooer. You fucking do. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I just find that it's such an interesting dynamic and change and shift from then to now. And I feel like maybe some people who are coming in the industry, they don't appreciate it as much because they
Oh,
don't have to work
100%.
nearly as hard for it.
They just think that they deserve it.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah.
I feel like
Very entitled. Very entitled. Yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But also the expectation of potential collectors or people that want to get into the industry that do get into the industry for potentially the wrong reasons. They see like the little tip of the iceberg. They think, okay, work whenever I want, wear my own clothes, you know, like no uniform, no, you know, they had this like interesting idea about what we do,
Yeah.
but it couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
With like the amount of hard work that goes behind the scenes, the drawing, staying up late, waking up early. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, we have homework.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's exactly it.
100%.
you don't just get to like fuck off and do whatever the hell you want. Like, I mean, you can, but
Yeah.
also like you have to work.
Yeah. If you give a shit about
Yeah,
it.
if you care, but a lot of these like young kids don't. They're just like, oh, I can make fast money and like do my art or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's like,
It can be tricky, and it's like a potential slap in the face of those that did come before us.
it's really insulting. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in Los Angeles. I like meet people every day that are like, oh yeah, I tattoo, but I just like do it out of my house, like whenever. And I'm like, oh cool, that's like extremely insulting to someone who's like given my life to this craft.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
like okay, like fuck me.
Blood, sweat, and
Yeah.
tears. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Like-
3 apprenticeships, working fucking a million hours, you know, doing
Yeah, like
what you
doing
had to do.
working other jobs to like be able to apprentice because I wasn't getting paid
No,
while I was apprenticing. Like,
no.
Ah.
so yeah,
It is. It's like it's cool though. The people that did kind of do it before us, and the people that kind of like I'm getting into my like 11th year of tattooing,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm in the generation sort of after you.
yeah,
But it's interesting to see the generational sort of shift of tattooing and like kind of where it's going. And it's an interesting shift where it's taking with people getting into it sort of now that I'm like at 10 years and seeing the people that are starting now, you know, and kind of coming up through it. It's just a different thing than it used to be. And I don't know, it doesn't feel as special. Potentially, it might be special. Like it's just my opinion.
it's just different.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's just more people, and I feel like, you know, and I can't say this is for everyone, but yeah, like going back to like, it's just more people that like don't really care about it the way that
Yeah.
I feel like you should.
Yeah. It's not to say that the opposite don't exist.
Sure,
But-
of course.
It's harder to really see them in the mix. You know, it's kind of a white noise, really.
Yeah, it's
There's
like
so many
they don't
of
want to
us.
like give something to it. Like this has given us so much. Don't you want to like give something to it? Like even if it's just something small,
Yeah.
like
With tattooing, though, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it.
yeah.
The more give back that you put in, the industry treats you so much better.
Yeah.
100%.
Like a lot of people will take from the industry and take and take and take and not give back, but the industry chews them up and spits them out a lot of the time.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a symbiotic relationship. at the end of the day. You can either help grow the industry and like receive benefit from it at the same time, have something that's mutually beneficial, or you can be a parasite, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
That's a good word.
Very true.
Yeah, that's a good word. Parasite. Yeah.
And parasites get flicked, I guess.
Yeah.
They wither.
They wither and die.
They wither. They wither and die.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what
Where's
the
tattooing going to go?
Yeah.
I know.
In the next like 10, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange because it's like I am not like in that new tattooer or old tattooer. I'm just in the middle. Like, you know, I'm not like a veteran per se, but I'm also not like brand new anymore. So I'm just like, oh, this is so interesting. Like to be in this like middle, like 1 foot in like old, 1 foot kind of in new, like, you know, coming up right when like social media was like, you know, first on the scene with like, you know, tattooing and see where that's even gone. Like I couldn't have even imagined something like Instagram existing. And like for a point, it really, really helped us. It was unbelievable. And now it's just, it's so difficult to even like get anybody to see anything you post.
Yeah, it's kind of gone off the rails.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly probably because of TikTok. Like everything's veered more towards making reels.
Yeah. And I just, who has time to do that?
Tatters are dancing now.
Tatters are dancing.
I'll scroll through and like people will do like little like TikTok dances when they're like setting up and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Like tattooers are genuinely becoming entertainers for the sake of like staying relevant. But like how I see it, Heather, is like now my wife,
This is my wife.
she loves TikTok. Hey Karina, how are you? She loves TikTok. She'll listen to this and laugh. She
love
loves
it.
TikTok.
I love it.
But now Karina will sit there for endless amount of time scrolling TikTok and enjoying every minute of it. But now a lot of people are like her, where they're scrolling TikTok, enjoying every minute of it, but they're actually enjoying their TikTok, but they're not out there getting tattooed.
right. Yeah. It doesn't really translate into clients.
No.
Like Instagram did.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So like these people, we're trying to appease these people and like get them to like double tap and like or subscribe to our pages or follow or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's somewhat meaningless because those people aren't coming in to getting tattooed because they're laying in bed double tapping
It's
and
just
looking.
empty likes. Yeah.
It's totally empty.
Yeah.
You might maybe get 1 out of 1,000 or something. They might seek you
maybe.
out to get a tat. But from my perspective of like the TikTok era, people are enjoying these little videos, but they're actually not seeking out tattooing like early Instagram used to, where people would say, wow, there's a person down the road that's doing these sick tats. I can now see what they're doing. I'm going to go get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a really interesting sort of thing because like whilst that's happening, the whole TikTok thing and tattooers are dancing for those likes or whatever, Instagram, we're still somewhat getting business through, but like, you know, like, are you getting most of your work through the doors or are you getting it through Instagram? Like what's the percentage of like in your own experience of tattooing?
Yeah, it's definitely social media. It's also friends. Like I'm friends with a bunch of people in music because, you know, my husband's in a band. And this year I did a special tattoo event for my friends that are in 2 bands. They were playing Sound and Fury Fest.
Okay.
At the Hardcore Fest that's in Los Angeles every summer. And I just did 2 sheets, one for each of the bands, and just people could come get the tattoos. And I was only going to do it for that whole week of Sound and Fury, but I got such a big response that I have kept doing them. So it's like I found kind of stepping outside of tattooing and like, you know, teaming up with like my friends that are play music and are in these bands that are, you know, fairly popular, and kind of doing collabs with them or like doing their album artwork or, you know, things like that. Like their fans see that and they do have tattoos. So they're like, oh, I should get tattooed by the person that does their artwork or they're friends with, or, you know, that kind of has been more beneficial than Instagram lately.
That's incredibly out of the box. And I fucking love that, you know, that's like early tattooer shit.
I was
That's
just
like
thinking that,
back in the day, you'd go to a bar and you'd like talk to people and you'd be like, yeah, man, I tat, you know, and you line up work like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to do that anymore, right? They don't want to go out and actually like seek that out. So that's so sick that you're doing that. And the fact that you're like collaborating with bands and stuff, it's actually kind of old school and it's fucking cool, man. And it's like really something special that a lot of younger tattooers aren't doing. So good on you. That's rad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot I've noticed now, like a lot of tattooers are doing like pop culture, like flash or like references. And anytime I do like a pop culture tattoo, like whether it be music, movies, wrestling, things, you know, I'm interested in, they get way more eyes and like, you know, people are way more into it than just like a wolf head used to be.
Okay.
So, but I also like don't want to like, it's not to say that like dumbing down, but like, I don't want to be like known for, I mean, I guess I don't, I'm known for like specific things, but like I literally can do anything. Like people will be like, oh, you know, can I get this in black and gray? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And they're like, well, you don't have a lot of black and gray on your, I'm like, doesn't mean I can't do it.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
But that's also like kind of younger generation, like, oh, I only do like black and gray. It's like, okay, like that's cool. But like I'm from a generation where you just did walk-ins and you could do anything. Like
Yeah.
I can do script. I like script. Like I had one of my like regular clients be like, hey, I want some script. Like who could do that? And I'm like, I can do that. And she's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask you because like it just seems like so like something you wouldn't do or don't want to do. I'm like, no, I would love to do that. Like
Sick.
so, you know, I don't know where I was going with that, but I've found that like things that aren't necessarily like traditional subject matter are doing a lot better, like at least online, or like people want like music themed tattoos. Like when I did like all those type of negative tattoos, like it like blew up and like people would be like, I have to get one from you. I have to get a type of negative tattoo from you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and so then I just started doing more and more and more of them. But I am hoping that like the wrestling tattoos, like people want more from me because I do enjoy doing them and they are very challenging. Like they really like force me to like think differently because it's not just like a dagger with like a rose. It's like there's a lot going on. There's like specific things for each wrestler. So, you know, it's fun and challenging.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
And wrestling fans, dealing with wrestling fans is like a fucking different whole thing.
Yes.
They're wild. They're wild.
They're
folks.
wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's interesting because like we've gone into this era where there's so much tattooing around and like, yeah, people aren't necessarily asking for just traditional tattoos anymore. But it's interesting because I don't know, I think we do have to be open to being able to do everything, you know? And like back when I learned how to tattoo, I learned in a really busy street shop and yeah, whether it was script, tribal, you name it.
Oh yeah, tribal.
Whatever came through the
Yeah.
door, I was like about it. And I was like, I felt like I was just lucky enough to be doing the tattoo.
Right.
That's what I felt like. Like obviously I wouldn't let the customer know that, you know, but anything, you come to me today, fucking script, you name it, I'll fucking do it. That's sick.
Yeah.
But in the day and age that it is, I think a lot of people see it where we're only posting kind of what we want. So they think that we're only tattooing what we want.
Right.
So
It's
they think,
curated.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they think, oh, they can't do that, so I'll go elsewhere or
Or
whatever.
they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
But it's cool. Like I'm stoked that I was from that kind of like that kind of same thing where like whatever you throw at us, we can do.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
We're pretty much up on time. So let's
okay.
should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you so much for having us at your shop,
Of
Heather.
course.
Yeah, thanks, Heather.
It's so sick to be
Anytime.
out here in LA on Sunset Boulevard, drinking some coffee, talking some shit, and learning a little bit about your life.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
really,
thank
really
you.
inspiring and insightful.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. No, I had an absolute blast, and very fortunate to be here and talk to you, and I don't know, maybe learn a couple of things, you know. Anyway, on that, see you later.
Goodbye.
Rats get fat. We're out.